Hello there and welcome to Passion People. I'm Melanie Olivero for 938 Live. Today I'll be chatting with musical star and recording artist Laura Michelle Kelly, the British singer who wowed audiences at London's West End and Broadway and who also starred in last year's Dick Lee musical A Twist of Fate, recently released her full-length debut album The Storm Inside. 24-year-old Kelly grew up on the Isle of Wight, that's an island off the southern English coast. From the age of 8, Kelly knew she wanted to entertain for a living, taking up the piano and singing whenever she could at the family farmhouse. Her dream came true years later thanks to her natural talent and hard work when she won the prestigious Laurence Olivier Award for Best Actress for her role as Mary Poppins. I had a chat with the very pretty and the very bubbly Laura Michelle Kelly, and she told me why she has a special place in her heart reserved for Singapore, starting with the food.
First thing I did was have chili crab, which was amazing. And you get to pick out the one you want and everything. I absolutely love Singapore and I'd come back in a second. So it's really such a pleasure to be here. And this year my husband's choreographing Dick Lee's Forbidden City. So I get to watch my husband's show and get to enjoy myself at the same time.
What about durian? Did you ever try the durian?
I did. I gotta say, it was quite strange. It's funny the smell that you get. I think that just put me off. That's terrible to say that. I know it's loved and I can understand why. But I don't think I'll be trying it again.
Yeah, you're talking about your husband, Nick. Which song on The Storm Inside best represents the love that you share with Nick? That Paul Weller song, You Do Something to Me, it does sort of conjure up many feelings, fond feelings and love you have for Nick.
Yeah. So also, I mean, it's the love for anybody really though too. It's anyone that really affects you in a powerful way and you can't quite put your finger on it, you can't quite describe it. And I think that's what I really wanted the album to cover, is every aspect of love and starting new again and recognising your wrongs. I think that's why I really wanted to call it The Storm Inside, because it kind of talks about there's a storm brewing and you can't put your finger on it and it's in your heart.
What storm is brewing inside Laura Michelle Kelly right now?
At the moment, it's a whole different ballgame. Living in the pop world is very different to what I've done. I did 7 days a week, 8 shows a week for the last 7 years. And to stop that and start something that's a completely different culture, different way of living, waking up every day doing something brand new instead of the same show every day, it's very different. It gives me more time to think too and think about what I want to do, and I get to spend a lot more time with my family this way too, which is nice. So there's a lot of new things brewing.
Yes, indeed. You know, you say you've been thrust into the pop world and, you know, you're only 24 years old. You're almost the same age as Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears. And some of them have gone to greater heights. Britney Spears has disappeared altogether to become a mother. But the thing is that the way pop stars your age are marketed, they really look a bit, how would I say this, for lack of a better term, they look a bit skanky, a bit cheap. But, but your image is very sophisticated, very sexy. Is this the way you told your record label that you want to market yourself?
I think it's the way I live. I don't live to show off my body. I think people look sexier when things are hidden, and I'd much rather keep it that way, keep it for my husband, to be honest. I think it's so sad when women feel they need to exploit themselves in order to be famous. First of all, I never really want to be famous. I want to be able to use my gift and my music to help people in their lives, but I really don't care much for celebrity, the fame that comes with it. I don't need that. I believe that if you're meant to be in a place of influence, it will happen to you. It won't be something you force to happen. And as long as you're doing what you believe is right in your heart, in my heart is to make good music and to affect people emotionally, to help them, then nothing else really matters. These women, they just feel that they need to use their sexuality to be something in the world, and I don't think you ever need to do that. I got taught by my parents so strongly not to do stuff that would devalue you. And some girls just don't realise that they have such value. Or guys, they don't know that they have value either, and they think that they have to get their chest out or whatever to be impressive.
Well, you did mention your parents and you love them very much, and your album The Storm Inside is dedicated to your late mum Alison, who unfortunately lost a battle with breast cancer some years back. Which song in The Storm Inside is dedicated to her memory?
There's a song I wrote called Butterflies. I was going to write a song about daffodils because I was going to the daffodil field to open for Marie Curie Cancer Care Trust, which is a trust that pays for nurses to take care of cancer sufferers. And I started writing daffodils, and actually the thought was that butterflies actually don't live that long. I mean, I think they live about 6 months, but it's almost like a day. But what's left is an impression of their colours, and I thought that was a very powerful image. And so the song's called Butterflies. It's talking about how the caterpillar fades away and something that's born out of it is a butterfly. And I feel that about people when they're gone, that they go on to somewhere really special. And so, yeah, that song's about my mum.
When it comes to the ultimate Broadway or Western role, which one would you like to have?
There's so many parts in plays and things that I really want to discover. I'd love to do a Shakespeare play. Playing the role of Juliet would be awesome. I think we'll wait and see. I'd really love some new writers to come up and give me a role no one else has played before.
So it doesn't really have to be an Andrew Lloyd Webber production.
I think they're wonderful. Angela Webber and Cameron McIntosh, they're a whole generation of inspiration. But I think it's really important that we support our youth coming up, develop the new writers and allow them a chance. And I'd love to do that.
Now, you've worked with Jamie Cullum, Guy Chambers. Who else would you love to work with, to write a song with?
I love Diane Warren. I think that the songs she's written are incredible. She's written hundreds of really incredible songs, and more often than not, they get to number one,
Yeah.
She's invited me to come and spend an afternoon with her at her house, so I might just go do that and see what I can pick up from her.
Has she? She's asked you to join her?
Not to write, because she won't. She's not usual that she'll write with anybody, because she's a very accomplished woman. She doesn't need to bounce off anybody, which like most writers do. She's very special.
Sure, I mean, not many people get to see Diane Warren because she's almost a recluse, and she only picks the people she really wants to interact with. That means if she's asked you out for a cup of tea, that's a step in the right direction.
A friend of mine is Natasha Bedingfield. She's one of my best friends, and she's really good friends with her, and we all went out for sushi, which is one of my favourite things in the world. And she was there, and she said I should come round and have tea.
Laura, you can sing, you can dance, you can act, you're a songwriter. What can you not do?
At the moment, I can't speak any languages, but I'm working on it. Last time I was here, I promised myself I'd learn Mandarin. So I have it on my iPod, the whole of the Asian languages on my iPod, which is really clever how they can do that.
As in how to speak an Asian language? Wow.
Yeah, Mandarin, Korean, Japanese. I can now know the difference between the languages, which is a big deal. It seems so simple, but I didn't get it. And now I can kind of tell, and there are certain questions. I can say things in my head, but not know what they mean.
You have a good ear for how things are pronounced.
Yeah, I can do that, but I have to match them.
What about motherhood? When will that happen?
I love kids so much. I don't know, I keep battling with myself because I do want them now, but I know that there's so much that I have to do before I have children. I mean, not that you couldn't do them both at the same time, I probably would. It just means that you have to share your heart with your kids as well, and your time. I'm sure that when I have them, that what I do right now probably won't seem so important, and so I need to learn as much as I can now, so that after I've got kids I can share my knowledge with them. Normally my plans kind of work out. I'm going to wait. Nick's very hectically busy as well. When he says he wants them now, I say, let's wait a bit longer, and then we swap around. We're going to have them soon, I'm sure.
Laura Michelle Kelly's excellent debut album, The Storm Inside, is now available, and make sure to drop by her website at www.lauramichellekelly.co.uk. And that's a wrap of Passion People. I'm Melanie Olivero for 938 Live.